now, because whoo boy, have I had a nightmare trying to get the cameras, and it felt like every time I got one thing working, everything else broke. But at the moment, we have a camera working. Oh, I wonder if my audio is a little loud. Let's turn it down, see. Okay, I've got a camera working. It's top down. We can see the scenery. So, yes, I'm going to start streaming and we'll see how everything goes. So, I thought I'd make a start on the treasure pieces today, which are beautifully detailed. Not that you can really see. These are some I was like halfway through painting. And yeah, I thought I'm going to start, rather than trying to do everything all at once, I'm going to do 5 sets at once. And so, to begin with, I will be dry brushing grey over them. So they've all been primed black. I will dry brush grey over them, and then, so sort of do a sloppy dry brush of grey, and then a better dry brush of white over the top. Thank you, Vit, for the suggestion. Actually, I tried it out even when I'm not using speed paints. I actually really like it. So, yes, we'll be doing that and then painting the details over the top. We shall see how far we get today. I'm quite excited about this because I love when you have something primed black and then you do the first dry brush, you start to see all the details. It's a lot better. So let me just get on. I'm just shaking the heck out of this paint bottle. I will be using now. Oh, it still needs a lot more shaking, actually. Hang on. Here, you can have some ASMR of paint shaking. That's what we all wanted for Christmas, wasn't it? In mid-January. Okay, I'm going to say that's shaken. I look, can you see on the inside of the bottle, and I'm like, that needs more shaking. Gosh darn it. There. And let me just check. It matches Dungeon Grey. There we go. Dungeon base, the same as Dungeon Grey. So, I'm going to need a lot more than that, but we'll just do that to begin with. Now I've got a nice dry brush, which I got from Hobbycraft. I like it because it's nice and flat. Sometimes the round ones are good for some things, but also the flat ones are really nice just for getting a large area covered. So as mentioned, we're just doing a sloppy dry brush here. We're not too worried if we go into the shadows because we'll be painting over everything anyway. It's just to get some of the detail showing. See? You can see what we've got a lot better now already. We haven't even done the white. So we shall get on with this. And in the meantime, so you know how last stream I was talking about maybe playing in the background while I'm painting, while things are quiet. A previous D&D game I played with my friends. So we're up to game, I want to say 28, something like that. And before we restart the campaign in spring, I need to re-listen to them all. It's going to be a bit wild listening to them because, hey, Jermaine, how are you doing? Hey, that's a really bad wave. Wait, let's try that way. Oh, yeah. How are you doing? Happy, what is today? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. How has life been for you? Doing great. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. And your partner's well? Yeah, when I start playing the game, it's going to be wild because this was kind of, I feel like I got a lot more practiced at D&D whilst running the campaign and better at accents and things. So the first few games, at the very least, you're going to be listening and going, oh, that's an accent. Or at least I will be. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Hey, Scar, how are you doing? Happy Tuesday. How are your hands doing after surgery? You're good? We don't see my face, I'm afraid, because I have had an absolute nightmare trying to set it up. Like, each time I do the streaming setup, like changing the cameras around, I'm like, it'll only take 20 minutes. And then like 2 hours later, where each time we get a successive new bug, I'm like, I need to dedicate like more time to fixing this than I do. Hey, oh, thanks, Fit. Appreciate it. Better today. I'm glad to hear it. Recovering from surgery sucks. I've never had surgery on my hands, but I can only imagine that it is incredibly annoying. Cool. Sorry. No worries. Good luck. Not sure if it's a call you need luck on, but you have luck anyway. I have to say, I do find it so handy doing this grey dry brush. You just see so much more detail than if you try and paint it straight from the black. Makes a big difference. Morning! Nice face cam. Thank you. Yes. I really didn't need to put a streaming shirt on, did I? But that's okay, I've got a nice cosy, ugly jumper on. Well, to be fair, the jumper wasn't ugly until I spilled loads of paint on it. I do wonder if rather than doing, 5 sets at once, if I should just do 1 set at a time, if it might be more interesting on stream to have it be like a set each time and then spaced out. I don't know. Well, we'll see. I'm doing 5 at the moment and we'll see how things go. Back. My dad is popping round in 15. Hey! Oh, well, I was going to say hello to him for me, but I've never met him, so it might be a bit weird if a random person says hello to him. Well, you can judge it, Fit. How am I? Not bad, thank you. Not bad. Still, I do have a little bit of neck ache where I spent this weekend just like... I shout anyway. Excellent. Right, I spent this weekend doing a lot of painting. So the stuff I showed on the Patreon post, plus a whole bunch of floor tiles. Like, can I get it within reach with my headphones? Yes. Like these guys, where I don't know if it shows up super well on camera, but this is it without a wash, and this is it with a wash, and I do think the wash just makes it look, I don't know, just better. So I've been doing a lot of that over the weekend. I definitely need to start yoga again. I have such neck ache. I'm going to start yoga again. It will be a thing. Do you know, when I did yoga for 3 months, and it was like 10-minute-a-day yoga on YouTube. It wasn't like I went and saw other humans or anything like that. And it was easy yoga for beginners. And after 3 months, I could touch my toes. Like, you know, that standing up without bending your legs. And I've never been able to do that in my entire life. And it was wild. Yeah, I should get back into yoga. Exactly, Vit, yes. So it's primed black, and then I'm doing Dungeon Grey, or this came as a set, so they renamed it Dungeon Base, but Dungeon Grey from the Army Painter. And I'm dry brushing that over the top, using your technique of the sloppy grey dry brush and then a white dry brush on top to pick out the details before I start painting. Because actually, as much as I was going, oh, I'm not as keen as on it with the, I'm not as keen doing painting with the speed paints, still, doing this as a technique underneath normal paints is really good. Yoga is one of my goals to return to when my wrist heals. Enjoy it. Yes, it's one of those things, much like meditating, where when I do it, I feel so good, and I feel like it really helps with my depression or anxiety. It makes me feel more energetic and just generally happier and da-da-da-da-da. But it is not a habit that is sticky for me. And I really need to find a way of making it stick. Maybe. See, one of my New Year's resolutions is that 2026 is going to be the year where I spend a lot of my focus on practicing getting back on the wagon. So, falling off yoga, getting back on the wagon. I was doing lots of running and walking the first week in January. Then I stopped for 4 days. And then yesterday, getting back on the wagon. So I'm going to try and do that to see if, by celebrating getting back to doing a thing after stopping, rather than focusing on, oh my god, you've stopped, you suck, you're the worst person, practicing and celebrating getting back to it. I wonder if that change in perspective or goal will change the outcomes. I don't know, that's my experiment for 2026. Kept using a damp bit of sponge to keep my dry brush from super chalking out. I've never heard the term chalking out before, but I know exactly what you're referring to. That's a cool idea. Good attitude celebrates success. Yes, that is the plan. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Because it would just be nice to be able to, because I am disgustingly unfit. And the thing is, the times when I've been really fit in my life, I have had so much more energy to do stuff. And I think, I've hit 30, I'm not getting any younger, now's probably the time. So, yes, getting back on the bandwagon and see how far we can go. Knew you would understand despite my poor English. Do you know, I just assumed it was a term, like a standard term that I didn't know. So what do you guys fancy? Do you prefer to continue chatting and, well, just chatting really. I don't have any particular topics to talk about, but chats, or listening back to an old D&D game with the disclaimer that it was before I got good at doing accent. Well, got good, not sure we can say that. Before I got better at doing accents. So you'll be listening to not exactly newbie DM Annabelle, but DM Annabelle from 4 years ago. Do what you want, I'm here for the ride. I like your... Shall wait and see if there's more to that, or if it was a typo from I like you? I don't know. I'll wait and see. Okay, need some more grey. Luckily, we've got a bunch that's oozed out the top, so I shall use that. Hey, just jumped out of the shower. Don't know if I missed this. Are you going to use all speed paints for the treasure? Chatter. Hey, thank you, Scar. Perfect. I don't know. I don't know about the speed paints because I feel like, me personally, Annabelle, I think I prefer the effect without the speed paints, maybe, but other people prefer the effect with the speed paints. So then I had been thinking, that's what I'll do, is I'll do half with the speed paints, half with normal paints. But then I'm thinking, well, if I'm doing these as painted tiers, what I don't want to do is do, say, half with speed paints, half with normal paints, then everyone go, I really like the speed paint ones, I don't want any normal paint ones, or vice versa. And then to have to disappoint people. So then I was like, is it better to just do them all the same and not risk disappointing people? Or to try different things, be creative, and then hope that different people like different things that are produced? There are pros and cons to both situations, I think. What I could always do is... Well, I've got 15 to do, so I could do 5 normal, 5 speed paint, check which ones people prefer, and then do the last 5 to top up whichever ones people most like. Yeah, can you tell it's not like super... I haven't decided yet. Be creative, it gives people ideas. Okay, I would like to do this because there are so many different ones that I want to try where I'm like, I could try this, and then I'm like, no, you need to do them all the same, because you don't want, if you try lots of different things, then some people will like some things better than others, and well, I'm just rehashing exactly what I just explained to you. So maybe be creative and try things out. Well, So today's tutorial, the thing is, it is exactly the same start for whether you are doing speed paints or normal paints. Or it is for me, in that I prime them black, then do the grey sloppy dry brush, and then do a lighter dry brush on top, and then either the normal paints or the speed paints. I liked seeing multiple colours on the beds. Hey! Well, do you know, I had that same debate with myself before the beds, because I was like, then I can... Because I was going to post the beds in our Discord chat for the painted tiers and be like, do you want to choose which beds you like? And happily, I've left room so I can, like, redo a couple of colours if people prefer, the same bed or something. I suppose that is basically my beta test. And you like seeing the different colours, I'm glad. Well, maybe I shall try different things and label. Like, make a note of what I'm doing. Because, my gosh, I so often try different things, and then at first I'm like, it's no good, so I'm not going to bother recording the rest, or the recording's not as good. And then I get to the end and I'm like, I actually do quite like that. What paint was it I used again? And yes. So maybe we shall record the entire process, trying different methods of doing things, and see which we like best. Makes sense? Beta test? I thought it was beta test. I have heard it both ways, beta and beta. So I don't know. I think it might be... like some people say tomato instead of tomato. So I wonder if it's one of those things. Like scone. I like variety. You can let people choose if they buy more. Yes, that is true. I was thinking also, another thing to add to the Patreon is I was thinking of doing, because you know how it is where I will test painting different things. Like I tested doing the ivy and the rose arch with the speed paints and stuff. And at some point I will be putting that up in store. So I've taken a pictures and I was thinking, for the things like that are custom stuff that I've either made from clay or, you know, done a special paint job or whatever, when I'm testing something out and then putting it up to sell, I might give Patreon backers, you know, first dibs. Because they tend to go, they rarely last a day when I put that sort of thing in stores. So maybe if I say, you know, if you're on Patreon, you can see it 24 hours sooner or something. Wonder how I'd do that. There'll be a way. Not sure. It's a thought. Right, data or data, potato, potato. Yes, exactly. Tornado, tornado? Do people call it a tornado? Do they? I've never heard of that, a tornado. Good incentive, hey! And then things like when I had the sale over the summer, then Patreon backers would get first dibs to some of the, like, you know how some of the terrain was super reduced? Huh, it's how you'd pronounce it in Czech. Well, I never. Never heard of that before. Tornado. It's so handy doing the dry brush at the start of when you're painting, just to see all the detail. It does make such a difference. You might also notice that when I'm holding it, I tend to try and hold it with the pads of my fingers on the bottom, and then usually via a nail at the top. Because if I use the pads of my fingers at the top, I tend to, you know, rub some of the paint that I've just put on off. But if I use a fingernail, then it tends to not have much surface area, so I'm usually safer doing that. Now you kind of know another Czech word, tornado. Or Spanish. I didn't know that. Don't speak Spanish, not a word. I was surprised. So I was in Belgium for a couple of days in December, back in Turnhout. Ah, it's a lovely place, or it's lovely for me. Special memories. And because when I was living there, I did a year in industry, and I was living in Turnhout, Belgium, working at Janssen, the chemical company, and making Alzheimer's drugs, or trying to. And while I was there, because I was in the Flemish-speaking part of Belgium, so although I kind of already spoke a bit of French, I decided to learn Flemish because that's where I was. And after the brain injury, I lost all my languages, and it was so gutting. Because, like, I'd never been super confident beforehand, and then after I lost them, it was like, you know how it is. You always, like, appreciate something so much more once it's gone. And I was so gutted. But then when we were back, just before Christmas, it was wild. Like, I could read so much Flemish. Like, I could read menus. I was starting to be able to talk with shopkeepers by the end of it. And I was like, oh man, maybe I should do some more studying. You know, in all that copious free time I have. Yeah, all those mythical hours. In those. I'm sure there'll be a way. The thing is, saying there's not enough time, whilst it is true, it very often is an excuse where, no, there isn't enough time, but there'll never be enough time. You have to make your time. I like this one, in particular, with the creepy skeleton guy on the throne. That will be heartrending. Glad it returned. Me too. Me too. And I kind of want to, like, take it for a proper spin and see how much has returned / how much could return. I mean, I don't want to give the impression that I was ever fluent in Flemish. Not that. I mean, it was only a year that I was out there, but I was what I would say market Flemish. You know, I could say, how much is that? Can I stroke your dog? How old is your dog? You know, does that have nuts in it? How much is the train ticket to so-and-so? How long will it take? You know, like basic conversation. Listen to it while you walk. I was just thinking that. And when I was there, part of the way that I learnt was by watching Tintin in Flemish. And that was useful just because, well, I used to watch Tintin in French to learn French. And it's like, I don't know, it's like it's half a children's programme, half not. So you do get some odd vocabulary from it. But it was usually really helpful, so maybe. How much basic conversation applies to dog-related themes to you? All of it. The important things are to ask. Can I stroke your dog? These are the most important questions in a marketplace. Snowy! Oh, is it snowing where you are? Oh, it's raining where I am. Do lots of people have pet dogs over there? A decent number. A decent number. And they always seem to come out on Saturday mornings. Oh, it was good. They had a very decent market there. So a lot of Belgium has, you know, I don't know if it's the same in Eastern Europe, but certainly in Western Europe, like France, Belgium, Germany, they often have like quite a cafe culture where there's often a town square and cafes around it and people go and like socialise, craziness, after work and stuff. And they have the market on Saturdays. I just noticed I've done those, but I've still got a bit of grey left over, so I'm just going to do a double coat on a couple of them just to use up my grey. And yeah, you'd get like random travelling cheesemongers, butchers. It was like a pop-up. I don't know, it felt quite... Oh my god, you're right. Thank you, Vit. Yes, you're right. Yes. Snowy in English and in French, Minou. As in, oh non, Minou, il a disparu. Don't actually know the dog's name in Flemish. Seems like a basic requirement. Yes, quite. Ah, I do that with Spanish. I'm reading a novel in Spanish now. Hey! I have to say, so French, I can speak it okay, but I am pretty much illiterate in French. And I really don't enjoy... So in France, they don't do... You know how it's like new speaker, new line, and there's quote marks? Well, A, they don't have quote marks. They have like little triangles. I could get around the triangles. The triangles are fine. But they don't do a new speaker is on the next line. So all the dialogue blurs into one. And I just don't understand why they do that system. It makes life so much harder when you're trying to understand a book. Clearly, it must work for them, or at least they've never changed the system. Dry brushing really is magic. It is, isn't it? It so is. What language is Flemish related to? Dutch. So, if you were to... Let's say this is the west of Europe. So we've got the UK here, France here, Spain, Portugal, and then we've got Germany around here, and then we've got Belgium here, and the Netherlands / Holland here. So Belgium as a country, the bottom half, Wallonia, speaks French. A bit in the east speaks German, and the northern half, Flanders, speaks Flemish, which is a sort of dialect, half, I don't know, it's its own language, but very, very closely related to Dutch. But it's also a much easier language for us to learn as English people, because A, Dutch is quite similar to English anyway, Flemish even more so. So, if you want to learn a Slavic language, learn Polish or Russian. Yes! Yes, I would like to. Yeah, I need to get my ass in gear with languages, don't I? Yeah. Right, I would say that's all the grey used up. Yeah. Okay, we shall start white. Now, the one thing I'm wondering is, do I continue with the same dry brush? Or do I, sorry about that, move to a different dry brush, of which we have two options. We have teeny tiny dry brush that's quite stiff at times, but can be very useful for doing small detailed areas. And we do bigger round dry brush. Good to know. I always thought they spoke French. Oh, yeah, see, I thought that too until I moved there. And it turns out there is quite the rivalry between the Flemish-speaking in Flanders and the French-speaking in Wallonia. Because a lot of the Flemish-speaking people feel that a lot of the industry and such is in the north, in Flanders. And you know how sometimes countries... So, like... there's rivalry between the north and the south or whatever in the UK. So the way that my mentor, who was a Flemish man, said was, in Flanders we work so hard, we bring in all the money and then the government redistributes it and sends it all to the south where they're lazy French speakers. I'm not saying that's true or not, but it did seem quite representative of a lot of the Flemish-speaking Belgians that I spoke to, that was a commonly held opinion. I just did a little investigation. You have one definitive article. Right, is that the? What's a definitive article? Yes, we're going to do white now. We have 36, depending on grammatical gender. Oh my god. Yes, I don't like gender in a language, like masculine, feminine, neutral. It just seems like a really unnecessary complication to life. Like, why does the chair have to be male and the table female? What is, why? Like, yes, that bothers me a lot. Let's try this big round brush and see where we go with this. Because it's a bit softer. That shield comes up nice, doesn't it? Agreed! Mandarin has no gendered tables and chairs. Yes. Yes. And that appeals to me. I've always been curious because Mandarin is a tonal language, I believe, that like different tones give words different meanings. And I've always wondered how does it work when you... Because I'm used to being quite expressive with my voice and using different tones to convey different emotions and such. Are you still able... Well, you must still be able to convey your emotions through speech, like without specifically saying the words. But I wonder if it conflicts with the tonal language or not. Absolutely no idea, just one of those things that I've always wondered and never looked up. What we might even do is go over it all once with the big dry brush, and then go over certain areas again with the little dry brush. We'll see, although I think I've put a bit too much paint on my dry brush this time. That's okay. It'll look better once it's dried. You definitely can. Aha! I thought that would... There must be a way. We have 2 words for girl. One is female, the other is neutral. Huh. A child is neutral but behaves as female in plural. Yeah, see? What is this? Though I've heard, so from friends that have English as their second language, I've heard that it's quite annoying for them the way we use like on, like put it on, but talking about a TV, for example, put the TV on, and it's like, yeah, but you're not putting it on anything. Or I'm trying to think of more examples now, but man, I can't think of more examples beyond put it on and shove it off, turn it off or whatever, where it's... But we use words like on, off, I think up, down, maybe? There's more. I know there's definitely more that I can't remember because I've heard a lot of complaints about it. And apparently it's really hard to understand because it just makes no sense unless you've been raised with it and then it's sort of second nature. You are addicted to while you are on drugs. Yes, why are you not addicted on drugs? Yes. Yes, it feels like it should probably be the same for both of them. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Brittany drop articles compared to the US. I have reached yes. Brittany drop articles. Oh, British people, maybe British drop articles compared to US people. Yes, yeah, Brits, there we go, That, yes. Yeah, I think we might sometimes drop articles, because I've definitely heard I've definitely done it in the past. Like, Give it me? No, I don't say that, but I'm sure I've heard people say it. Yeah, I can't think of examples, but I know that British people sometimes drop, like, the word "the" and stuff. Bad vision and autocorrect. I think my mum has the same issue. By the way, do you like the rain sound effects? I booked it specially. It is very nice and peaceful, actually. Going to hospital. Fair dues. Well, oh no, that was a bit too much white. That's okay. We'll deal with that. Well, good luck with hospital. I hope it goes well. I hope you heal up soon and are feeling better. When you were in Singapore, was it difficult to understand when we speak English? No, not particularly. Like, there was an accent. So I think it was, like, a little bit harder than when people don't have an accent or, like, slightly different mannerisms or ways of talking. But... oh my god, that was an example. Thank you. Going to hospital. Yes, you're right. You're right. Yes, that is exactly how we drop articles. Articles? I don't even know what you're meant to call those words. Could be articles. Yes, articles is the word you use, so I am going to defer to your expertise. Was it difficult to understand me? No, not particularly. I mean, I would say that I'm very used to speaking to people where English is their second or third language. So I'm used to speaking to people with different accents and sometimes different sentence structures. So I don't know if it's a fair test asking, like, you know, I don't know if I'm representative of the average British person. But I can definitely say that no, it wasn't hard to understand. Wait, where did that one go? Ah, in my lap. I do love painting with background rain noise. Very kind of the heavens to provide. We have drought. We have a drought. We have the drought. The drought? No. There is a drought. We have drought. In Singapore, it's such a mishmash of cultures, so there are many borrowed words from Malay, Hokkien. Oh, I've totally not pronounced that right. Cantonese, Hindi, Tamil. We call it Singlish. Ah! Oh, I like that. Do you know, I'm going to have to ask my parents if they found it harder to understand. Maybe it is and I just didn't notice. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, it's not like, apart from you, like, Jermaine, you were the person that I had the longest conversation with who was Singaporean. So, I don't know if it's like it would have come out by speaking to more people, maybe? Don't know. See? This is good chatter. I'm glad you approve, Scar. Because to me, I'm like, oh, is this like inane random chatter? Or like, well, I suppose that is what it is, but that doesn't mean it's not good. We have Spanglish. I would love to speak Welsh. I think one of my aunts, she doesn't speak Welsh fluently, but she is Welsh and did it in school, because you have to, and speaks a bit of Welsh. And it just sounds like such a beautiful language. It's such a shame that it's like not... I mean, it's useful that all the Welsh people speak English. Very useful when we're, you know, a united country to have a united language. Although, I don't know, it's the Belgians and such seem to have done all right. But I just think Welsh sounds so beautiful. Mind you, the way they spell it is insane. Absolutely insane. If you see Welsh words written down, you look at them and you're just like, okay, someone just threw their keys on the keyboard. Threw their keys on the keyboard? Threw their hands on the keyboard. Far too many L's and not enough vowels for my taste. Let's get some more white. We have Chenglish. I'm not sure I pronounced that one either. Spanglish. You hear Fringlish sometimes. Or Frenglish? Frenglish, I suppose. I loved, when I was living in Switzerland doing a different placement, and I was living in a youth hostel, and there were so many languages, so many people from all around the world, all speaking different languages or like an amalgamation of them. And of course I was lucky being English, because English became the sort of lingua franca in the hostel. But it was so, so cool. And the different food people cooked. This while we have a perfectly working word for cute. Interesting. One thing I love is words that you get in other languages that you don't get in your own. And then you get... I don't know. I feel like you learn more when you hear those new words, because it gives you sometimes vocabulary to describe a situation or feeling that label allows you to feel it stronger or recognise it more. I don't know. So my... two favourite words from German. One, everyone knows, Schadenfreude. Yes. And then the other one, Kummerspeck. And Kummerspeck is a word for when you're overeating because you're hungry. And it literally translates into grief bacon. Overeating because you're sad. Did I say overeating because you're hungry? I can't remember. But Kummerspeck is, you know, comfort eating. Dad says hi. Hey, Vit's dad. Hey. Oh, that's quite exciting because, I met Harabed's dad at UK Games Expo last year. I met Harabed's dad and Harabed's sister. And now I haven't really met your dad, but in spirit I sort of have. He was. I think I didn't speak to him for too long because, other stuff's for me, but I think Mum and Dad spoke to him for longer. But he was a really nice guy. 3 English words that come from Czech: hopscotch, robot, and pistol. Interesting. Interesting, hopscotch. Do you know, I always assumed that hopscotch came from hop, like hopping. And in Scotch, I don't know, to be honest. Something new every day. I also like, it's not a word, more of a phrase, but in French, l'esprit d'escalier, which is literally translates as the spirit of the staircase. But it's, that thing where you have an argument with someone and then it's not until after the argument, maybe an hour or so later or just after you've left the room, where you're suddenly like, oh my god, that's what I should have said. And that is l'esprit d'escalier. That feeling you get when you're on the staircase outside an argument. Oops, that's a bit too much white on my brush there, isn't it? Try and take some off there. Definitely too much white on that one, but that's okay, that can be a speed painter one. And when I say too much white, I don't know if it is too much white or just more than I was expecting. Hop is the interjection for jumping. Interesting. Scotch is imperative for jump. Well, there you go. Robotnik means serve. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? Serve. Pistol comes from pistala vish, means flute, but also one of the first firearms they made. Oh, which means flute. There we go. Learn something new every day, don't you? Oops. Do I need to twist that slightly? just realised I need to check my email after this, because there was someone who, a Kickstarter backer that I thought we'd asked about a change in shipping address, because their shipping address, sometimes the most annoying thing happens where the label goes through, the customer gets sent a notification like, oh, your parcel's on its way, and we pack up the parcel, put the labels on, and then we go to the post office, and then at the counter they're like, computer says nah, and it's usually someone's used like a PO box or something as the address, and it says it's fine in the system on the computer, but then when you actually get there in real life, it's like, for some reason, doesn't work. Anyway, we had one of those, and then I thought, emailed them asking for an updated address, and then didn't hear back from them. And they got in touch last week, being like, yo, where's my parcel? So emailed them yesterday to see about the address and da-da-da-da-da, and I need to see if they have replied overnight. In fact, do you know what? I'm just going to type that. So type check email reply reorder address. Lovely. Man, it is magic doing this dry brush, because all the details do just suddenly become visible. Is great for the weak of eye, like myself. I'm guessing that'll be me in a few years. I'm already a bit weak of eye, just from all the, like, close-up... I guess all the close-up reading? And all the eye strain over the years of reading in poor light? Dunno. But, I mean, I've needed glasses since I was a kid, to be honest, so I'm not... Well, to be fair... I did spend years reading in the dark as a kid by torchlight under the blankets. I don't know. And I think I'll need the small dry brush to go in some of the crevices there. Hey, Iona, how are you doing? Welcome in. I feel like streaming also doesn't help with the eyes. True that. Mind you, if I wasn't streaming, I would still be staring at my PC. Or painting, or whatever it is. So... I don't know if I can blame the streaming or just my lifestyle. I also like how good it is for batch painting like you're doing. Yes. Yeah, I like it for batch painting. which we're nearly there on till we get the small brush out. Would you do this dry brush with the cobble? Good question. I have never done this dry brush with the cobble in the past, but I don't see why it wouldn't look really cool. Do I have a random cobble piece around that I can try it on? Not within easy reach. No, not within easy reach. I have to say, with the cobble, I tend to just do, well, with the new cobble, with the new plastic, do just a Vallejo game wash. But I would give it a go and see. If nothing else, it would probably look good doing that before the game wash. Also, I've just realised I never put the lid back on this. But can we see the lid? I tell you what, I can't. Oh, it's over here. I found it. Yes. So in the past, I just used sponges on the cobble. And I do the dark and then the paler and then a lighter one, I think. But I haven't done any painted like that since using the new cobbles. So honestly, I need to go back and try it with the new cobbles. Oh, I did. With the benefit of hindsight, I would do a black base, grey dry brush, light grey versus little highlights, then a dark wash over it all. Yes, yes. Then other people pick out interesting cobbles in cream, brown, greens, blues. Yes, so I used to do a thing where I'd do it dark, like a black base coat, then dark grey over the top, and then I think there might have been a paler grey, but then I'd use game washes, so like a watered down strong tone or a watered down military shader or things like that to pick out the individual cobbles or bricks, and that I found useful. I liked using the washes to pick out them because I could paint everything exactly the same and just go through at the end to make it look distinctive. I think what I did was I sponged it grey and then dry brushed the highlights. Yes, I've definitely done that before. Yeah. I really need to do it with some new cobbles because I'd like, there's a set I want to paint myself as well as doing the new cobbles. These wattle and daub pieces, I want to paint them with mud in between rather than plaster so that it can be used in like underground basements and things. Love a good sponge. Yes. Yes. Sponges are so good for painting terrain. Especially, I am still a fan of the humble dish sponge. There quite tempted to do a second layer of white, but maybe before I start doing that sort of stuff, I'm just going to go using my small dry brush. You see some of these patches that are really dark? So I'm going to go... Oh, what's that? How do I turn the alarm off without... Oh, sorry guys. That is to remind me that... if I can open this thing. No! Oh, no! Oh, you guys. Oh, that's not good. So basically the camera's just unplugged and replugged. And when it replugs in, so the way I was running the camera, because it was just having such a hissy fit, and the kind of hacky way I ended up doing it was that I had the, I had it in from my phone to the camera app, and then a screen grab of the camera app on my PC. And that doesn't, you can't do that if OBS is running at the same time. So first you need to close OBS to then set up the camera, which means I can't get our camera back until I end the stream. Oh, bottoms. Let me, I know there's no other way to do it. Wait, give me half a moment. I'm just going to try one thing that might be a terrible idea. In fact, quite likely is. Yes, that's not going to work. No, I thought it wouldn't. That's right, because I turned developer options off. Ah! Okay, well, the good news is... Well, that's not great news, is it? Okay, here we go. The good news is you get to see my face right at the end. And let me just see. Oh, and my face is, and you can see the mess that is my office. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, well, that was a thing, wasn't it? Let me just go back here so we can see chat. Oh, hello, face. Hello. Yes, so... Well, in that case, that is where we'll be ending today's stream. I'm sorry for the abrupt ending. That was not intentional. But I guess we have got the grey and the white undercoat on most of the stuff. So I will come back. We will be here again tomorrow. And I'll put some paint on, and I am going to go away now and try and figure out how to get the cameras working so I can have multiple things running at once and it doesn't randomly do this. Thanks for the chat. Thank you. Really appreciate it. It's so nice to hang out again. Like, I've missed this. Well, I do see that I will fiddle with this later. Thank you, and thank you for coming, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. See you... Wait, there it is. See you again real soon. Laters. Bye.